Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Funny Thing Is podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Birch, where every episode I bring you someone who shares a life-changing event, the medicine they take to get better, and the funniest lesson they learned along the way. Today, we have no exception. I have a very special guest for you. Not only is she an actress, writer, self-proclaimed yogi, and spiritual cartographer, you know her from shows such as The Mindy Project, Scrubs, Happy Endings, Future Man, which is if you've ever wanted to see a really good sex scene, that's how you have sex. And then another show called Pivoting, which we've had a previous guest on named Liz Astroff, who created that show. Welcome to the stage, Eliza Coupe.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing this.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on.
I like all the velvet. There's a lot
it's
of velvet
like just
involved.
very, and like the aesthetic just matches what we're
works
wearing.
For me. I knew.
It does.
I knew.
You knew ahead of time.
I did.
You knew. I think it's interesting because I was like looking up more how to introduce you, and that you also did Groundlings UCBIO.
I did, kind of.
Okay.
So Groundlings, I did the first year, and then I was asked not to move on.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
okay.
I wasn't.
Okay. But you did pretty big in UCB though. New York,
I never
maybe?
took classes at UCB.
No.
I just dropped my show in there because my director was the artistic director, Anthony King.
Oh, fucking A.
So I got to
That's
workshop
awesome.
my show.
Anthony King. Yeah.
Yeah, he's insane.
Okay, he's great.
I got to workshop my show there at like a really the time of day that you want to be doing comedy at like a 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Got it. On a Monday. Yep.
Because I was nobody.
Right.
And I had to do my one-person show, and it was like I needed an audience. So anybody who came in.
I would have killed to have seen that, by the way. Because I was reading on it, and I was like,
it was really fun.
It was a one-person sketch show, right?
Yeah. It was just me, and each character was 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
And I just was up there, played guitar, sang, whole thing.
And it did well.
It did. It won the Breakout Award at the HBO Aspen Comedy Festival.
Hell yeah.
And then my whole career exploded.
But from
that was it.
That was it.
Like I remember being in Aspen, and every agency was taking me out to like the best dinner. And I was like, the one where whatever the best food was, I was like, that's probably going to be the agency I go with.
Right.
And I did. It was great.
Hey, that's a great decision making.
It is. Yeah. I want, like, it's not just the food. It's like the restaurant had to be cool.
Right.
Because I'm one of those people that like, if I go to a restaurant, it'll take me about 20 minutes just to find the right seat.
Right.
Because I have to I don't want to be facing certain things.
Because you want the experience, you want the ambiance to look right, to feel right, the energy.
The energy.
And also, we kind of just touched on this before we started filming, but like, you're like an ethereal spiritual, like even these tattoos, are they considered tattoos? Like they're like,
oh, my little cosmic blueprints, as they're called.
That's what it is.
It's just, that's my Abuelita. That's her name.
Yeah.
It's not her name. Her name's Jane, but she's my tattoo artist. But she moved to Amsterdam. So now I'm like,
you have to go to Amsterdam.
I'm going to have to go to Amsterdam.
Okay.
Just for tattoos.
Great.
I'm like riddled with tattoos. I have so many.
But I love them.
I'm getting more. Start on my legs.
But this is, so I've watched, like I've seen you in a lot of the, Scrubs Mini Project. Of course, Happy Endings was like my all-time favorite. Mm-hmm. It went 3 seasons.
Yeah.
It needed to go 10.
It did.
And everybody has agreed with me on that.
I don't know why we're not coming back. Doesn't make any sense.
It was one of those shows, and I was talking about this with the producer. I go, it was that show where it was like, it had the first biracial couple that was successful and happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then it had a gay man who wasn't just the flamboyant neat freak. He was like, it's like, it just showed a different version of every person and how people really are. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, and it has such a cult following.
It does.
Bring it back. I want it back. And then we have I just said like you did Benched with Jay Harrington, and I was really good friends with his brother during the Groundlings. Adam, which is such a weird, I don't know why I wrote that. Okay. But with all of that, one thing, I don't know if it's because of Liz's show that I started following you.
I can't remember. I think it was.
I reached out to you.
I think it probably was Liz's show. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I dig all of your posts because it was like, especially your stories. There was something so, I'm going to say hippie dippy.
Yeah,
and
very hippie dippy.
I fucking love that. I mean, this is, like 10 years ago, I was still doing like hey, have you heard of Abraham Hicks? And like, that was the height of my spirituality. Right. And so, but then having you on, which I think, like I've said before, a lot of people tap into the life-changing event. I think this episode's going to tap more into the medicine because you have practiced and tried so many different things that I'm excited for you to teach me about, because there's like 2 things on here that I've never even, and we'll get to Mezcal too, because I'm interested about that. But let's start off by you sharing what you want to talk about, your life-changing event.
Yeah. So, I mean, it seems so cliche, like, oh, I got divorced and my whole life changed. But it was like the relationship with my ex-husband was so powerful and incredible and beautiful and amazing, and also the worst alchemy of two people on the planet.
Oh, okay.
But it seemed like, and the reason is because we're exactly the same.
Got it.
In a lot of ways.
Because he's a very spiritual.
Yeah. And super healthy health guy.
Healthy. Were you like that beforehand?
I was. That's how we kind of connected. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've always been someone who's like, you know, super spiritual, like super healthy, drinking the green juice, going to yoga, and then smoking a cigarette.
Right.
So that's how I've always been kind of like, I don't know. I feel like everything's about intention. So it's how you're doing anything is how it's going to go into your body.
Right.
So if you're not intentional with what you're doing, then yeah, it's going to go in like poison.
Right.
So, but when he and I met, I was, and I was also, I mean, I write about this in my book. I wrote about but I was on amphetamines for a good part of my life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. So I was put on Ritalin at age 9.
Shit.
Yeah. And then it was on and off. And then it was Adderall. And then it was Dexedrine. And I was just on that shit all the time. So I was constant. And I'm already like, you know.
Buzzing.
So when I met him, I was like, we were just finishing Happy Endings. And I was so strung out. I was like living off coffee, cigarettes, and Adderall.
Right.
And so I met him, but I was still getting up every morning, doing my yoga, doing everything super healthy. Everything I ate was super healthy. But when I met him, he changed my life in the sense, like the week before I met him, I like got on my knees and I was praying and I was like, I just need something beautiful to come into my life to change all of this.
Oh my God.
And literally a week later he came in.
Yeah.
And I went because I'm an extreme person, so I decided to just stop everything in one day.
Right.
And I fell apart. And then I had to go on this whole healing journey with him. But we were also trying to have a relationship.
Right.
And it was like, we set up this dynamic that I was broken and needed a healer. So we had this very interesting dynamic and we loved each other so much. I mean, like I would say if there's like, I hate all the terms of, you know, soulmate, all these things, but I would say he's probably my twin flame because we had to completely burn each other down.
To build each other up. Yeah.
So it was really intense. And I was a very different person than I am now. Like I hadn't dug into the shit that I needed to.
Right.
Like I thought I had, like I did all the right things. I didn't drink for 18 years and like did a lot of like, just everything.
And in Hollywood, that's such a specific choice.
It was crazy.
I love that.
It was great. And
I always said, by the way, I always used to say, I was like, oh, I would be Eliza Coupe if I made better decisions in life.
See, I always say that I'm just one decision away from being on the street out there. Literally. I pass people, I'm like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. How long were you with him, by the way?
We were together for 3 years.
Okay.
4 years? 3 or 4 years. Okay. It was really intense. We actually emailed for 3 years before we even met.
Really?
Yeah. Because
how did you
I was in a relationship and I was just like, but we connected because we both get up at like 4 a.m. So we would just email at like 5 a.m. and like just connect.
How'd you guys meet?
Through a producer of a movie I was doing.
Okay.
And it was a beautiful, incredible relationship. There was just something it was so obvious to me. And as I look at like soul contracts with people in life, I just he literally told me, don't hit the microphone.
No, you're fine.
And my nose is dripping. Yeah. It's not cocaine. I never went that route.
I mean,
I based poor man's cocaine, Adderall.
Yeah.
But so we just like, it was the soul contract between he and I was that we were a mirror to each other.
Right.
And it like showed, because I love him and he and I are very close still.
Right.
After like we were talking through lawyers at one point and now we're super
friends.
Close. And I was like trying to set him up with a girl. Like I'm friends with his girlfriends. Like we're just it's very beautiful now.
Right.
But it was very conditional in our love with each other.
Right.
Because I was so broken and it was like I couldn't be fixed enough or healed enough for the relationship to work.
Right.
Because I had damaged it so much with my own shit. Like some might call it eating disorder. I call it just that's been my life of like food stuff. So my drug of choice was always food.
Right.
I did crazy shit with it. And then being on amphetamines, you're not eating anyway. So it's like I would over-exercise, and then there was like just a sprinkling of bulimia in there for a little while.
Right.
And it's like I just spent my whole...
And this is while you were with him.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
oh God, when I was in high school, I was basically hospitalized. I mean, this has been my journey. And so the reason I actually stopped drinking was I got into a 12-step food program.
Okay.
And then you can't have any sugar or flour. So no alcohol.
No alcohol.
And that was incredible. And that actually like really helped me. But it was crazy because I was in this, I don't know how I got into like the most intense 12-step program.
Right.
Where you have to weigh and measure your food. And if you deviate from it at all, you're out and you have to start over.
Holy shit.
And you have to call your sponsor at like 5 a.m. every morning, commit your food. And if you want to change your food for any reason, you have to call. And if you don't get an answer, you can't change your food. It was fucking nuts.
Holy shit.
But it made you accountable. I did it for 7 years. 7 years of that, weighing and measuring my food. And it was super helpful because it helped me. But then it also, because I'm me, I took it and I went a little too much the other direction.
Right.
So I am grateful though for all the tools I learned in that program, but I have since left that and found other things. But when I was with him, I was a mess.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of like how you said, like the foundation you created was you were the one that needed help. Yeah. And so how do you change that dynamic inside the confinements of a relationship?
Hard. Yeah. And he couldn't see me in another way because once I put down all the shit that I was using to like, I don't know, self-medicate myself from not feeling, the numbness was gone and I had to feel everything. And up comes the anger.
Yeah.
Because I was an angry person.
Right.
Very angry. I mean, like that's my default. It's like most people are like, oh, I'm just like whatever. Or if anything bad happens, oh, I'm sad. No, I'm gonna murder you.
I'm a rage.
Like that's I get and I go 0 to 1,000 really quickly. And
so you were angry with him.
I was angry with the world.
Yeah.
Just angry with everything. Because I'd never dealt with like shit that had happened when I was a kid.
Right.
Stuff that I loosely touch on it in my book because it's just not something that I feel like,
Right.
It was some crazy shit as a little girl.
Yeah. It all stems from something.
Yeah. And it shouldn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
But I never dealt with it.
Yeah.
And so once I finally started to, I can now actually be in the same room as those people that did crazy shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. But it was a journey to get there.
10 years.
And like after the divorce, I went on literally a 5-year pilgrimage of my soul.
Okay.
3 years
Deliberately.
of celibacy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wanted him back so bad. I was a mess. I was a mess. I wanted him back so bad. And
Was he the one that called it then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it and you don't have to share this, but was it like a big tipping point? Did something big happen or was it just a lot of the little?
It was a lot of little things. And then we decided to do a liver cleanse. And if you know anything about where certain emotions are stored in the body, anger is stored in the liver. So you cleanse that motherfucker. If you're me, you're going to basically breathe fire to people.
Right.
So that kind of set it off. And then I was filming like 3 minutes from our house in Malibu.
Okay.
And we had just not been doing well. And it was just not, I was sleeping in the guest room. It was terrible.
Right.
And I look back and I'm like, oh, that poor girl. Cause I was doing anything I could to just get him to pay attention to me. Like pathetic.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
The things I was doing.
I've been there.
Like trying to crawl into bed with him and him literally being like, what are you doing? And I'm like on the ground. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just love me, please.
Yes, yeah.
And then so I was filming Rob Riggle's Ski Master Academy.
Yeah.
And so I could go home. It was the first time ever filming I could go back to my house.
Because it's right there.
Yeah. So at lunch I went back and we had gotten in a big fight the night before and I was like sobbing and crying and we were like up on one of the hills on our 50 acres.
Right.
And we heard a mountain lion and
holy shit.
I wouldn't leave the mountain. And so he left and I was just on top of the mountain with a machete. And I was like, I'm just going to, it's fine.
I know.
I'm okay if I go now. Like, come get me. And so after that, go home, like the next day, go to work, go home at lunch break where I only have like a 30-minute lunch.
Right.
And I'm like sitting up at my pool eating like a bowl of blueberries because that's all I ate back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up and he's like, I filed for divorce. And I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I have to go back to work in 20 minutes and be funny.
Oh,
what?
No.
And he was like, no, I had to pull the ripcord. And I'm like, we had one? I didn't know
we could
I didn't know we
pull
had
it.
it. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I was gutted. And I was so angry and blindsided, but also I'm so grateful that he did that.
Right.
Because I was never going to heal if I was with him.
Yeah.
Or if we were together.
And you were never going to leave. Yeah.
And I never would have left because I loved him so much.
Right.
But I knew that we weren't the right fit.
Yeah. I mean, it does, you do sound like you guys were each other's mirror. Like you said.
Yeah. It gives me a chill even just thinking about it. But, so then after that, I had actually like gotten us to, I would like plan this whole trip to go to Tulum. Mm-hmm. And this is before Tulum became fucking spring break.
I know.
Tulum was really cool. Like just like going to the like sacred Yucatan, like all the things. But I'd planned a trip because my birthday was like a week after that moment. Mm-hmm. So I was going to, or 2 weeks after. Yeah. Fuck. So I was going to go to Tulum. So I ended up going alone. And that's when my whole journey started of like, holy shit.
I just love that this is all like for you because you dress like vintage and you're very like, again, the tattoos of all of it. It was, you were on the top of a mountain with a machete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was like the beginning of the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then now you're going to Tulum for a whole restart. Yeah. Okay.
It was crazy.
This tracks.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And I was such a,
that's when I started reaching out to you, I think, because you were doing Tulum stuff and the sound baths and all that. And I was like, oh, I've never done
all
a sound
the things.
Bath. Yeah.
I mean, I was, by the way, I have a natural tremor, so I don't want people thinking I have some.
No, that's.
I'm not on Adderall
It doesn't usually pick it up anyway.
Okay. I just hit the microphone again. You're welcome. So yeah, it was.
So what was Tulum like? It was. Did you know what you were originally going there for? Just a vacation?
Yeah, I had been there before with him because he invested in a like a health spa down there. And
is that the Sonara place?
Yeah. Sonara. It's since been sold to different people.
Okay, yeah.
And like everyone that
I still wanted to go because it sounded
Sonara was
to fix my Hashimoto's. I was like, that sounds like the place I need to go.
Yeah.
But he doesn't own it anymore.
No, they don't own it anymore.
Okay.
So we had gone down once before and I was like, this is magical. But then when I went down this time, it was like, I mean, I am writing a movie about it.
Right.
But it was like, I was so broken. I mean, I was so broken. I was like 10 pounds lighter than I am now. And just like, just like
and all emotion.
Couldn't eat and just all emotion and sadness. And I wish my nose would stop dripping. It's just the way it is.
Do you want to clean it?
No, I feel like this is better.
Just my sleeve.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm okay with it. No, growing up in New Hampshire, I've had frostbite before. Like just being cold is like my thing.
Yeah.
It's just drips.
Constant.
Okay. So when I went there the first time, I didn't even know what to expect. And I had just like the people who owned the hotel, we knew them. They were friends of my ex's.
Right.
And they actually like really took care of me. Like they knew what I was going through. Mm-hmm. And they like set up this personal sound bath for me with like this incredible woman. Her name's Alessandra. And she actually, I think, lives in LA now. I go into this, like, it was all windows. And it's like this, like, basically a shala, but it's all beautiful, like, beautiful wood, looking out at the ocean, on the ocean. Like, you're like, to that wall, it's the ocean.
Right.
And it was like just getting dark. And I go in and it's all candles. And it's just a personal sound bath. Like, they arranged it for me.
Holy shit.
And I lay down and she's like doing every freaking incredible exotic instrument. And I'm just like, in this whole thing with the, just, it was, I can barely even like describe it. And at the very end, I had been told like, she'll put her hands on you and she'll like feel what you need to really heal.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
And I was like, shit, she's gonna literally like be like repelled off of me. Like it's gonna like, and she put her, and like right before she put her hand on me, I was laying there and it was like dark and everything. All of a sudden I just saw behind my eyes this huge lion. And it was just staring at me. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And he was like, you're strong.
Yeah.
Like, you got this.
Yeah.
Remember who you are.
Yeah.
And then she put her hands on me and I was like, oh God, she's going to say. And she said, you're good. And I was like, I'm so not good.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't know it yet, but you are.
Yeah. And you needed to hear that.
Yeah. So then after that, I started going down to Tulum pretty much every month. Mm-hmm. And I would stay for a while. And then I met the crazy characters of Tulum.
Mm-hmm.
What I call the Tuluminati.
The Tuluminati. Oh.
They're just so, there's so many.
Like the people that live there or other people that go visit?
They live there, yeah.
Okay.
I connected with this whole group of just beautiful musicians and yogis, and some of them were legit, some of them were little charlatans. And I mean, the thing with Tulum is like, you can find a guy there, and I have a friend who met a healer there.
Okay.
And he was like, he like takes energy, like takes toxic energy from your body. Mm-hmm. And he told her, he's like, wow, so you have a lot of toxic energy in your breasts. I'm going to need to. 2 hours later, she's like, oh my God, he just kept massaging them and he got the energy out. And I'm
That's
like,
how it works, baby.
No. And she's like, it felt so good. I'm like, no shit, it did.
I bet it felt really good for him too.
Yeah.
It felt amazing.
And he's just like, you're not done yet. I feel like there's still a little bit in there, as he's like,
Turkey's like, behind the camera. I got you. Like, what the fuck?
So there's so many of those guys. And like, there was a guy with a pendulum that would walk around and he'd like do this whole thing. He'd be like, you want to know how many past lives we've had together? And then he'd be like, whoa, 130. I'm like, gross. Okay. Like, dude. No. Ew. No. I mean, I've done all sorts of past life regression. I've done everything that there is.
Yeah.
I know every animal spirit medicine, in my memory, I know all the things. But I was at the beginning of my whole journey down there. And it was like, okay, so then
if you're new to it, you can fall. I mean, I'd fall for shit all the time when I first started. Yeah.
I'm surprised that I didn't sleep with more weird spiritual gurus. I mean, I've had my fair share, but I did not like.
There should be more.
Yeah, there should be way more. Yeah. With like Tulum is just filled, especially now.
Oh my God.
And so I did this. I ended up meeting this yogi who was another mirror.
Okay.
I was obsessed with this guy.
I think I know who. Yeah.
Long hair.
Yep.
Venezuelan and Mexican.
Yep. Some of your videos. Yep, I remember.
Freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
We were identical. He's called the dictator in yoga. He's like a yogi dictator. Like if you make a noise on your mat, you are yelled at and the whole class has to start over.
That doesn't feel like yoga.
No.
Yeah.
But me being the most, I'm so militant in my own. I was like, I fucking love this. Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it so much because I loved being able to do something perfect.
Right.
Like, I won't make a noise.
Yeah.
You're going to love me, right? Because I'm perfect. Oh, so many fucked up things.
Yeah.
But he had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was the best choice to go second best and go for his best friend.
Uh-huh. Great.
Fucking raccoon.
Great.
He's called the raccoon.
He's called the raccoon.
Yeah.
That's not just
Mapache.
your nickname.
Mapache.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work out. Shocking.
Okay.
Because I always wanted the real deal.
Yeah.
But that taught me so much. And doing that.
And were you still doing celibacy at this point or no?
I was.
Okay.
I was just like, I wasn't mentally celibate or emotionally really. I was like engaging in all this stuff. But the thing with what was going on in Tulum at the time with the spiritual world was like, no, like if you really love someone, you don't even touch them. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this is going to work for my celibacy. But also I do kind of want that. Like, are you not into me?
Yeah.
But it was like this whole like, you can be with 10 people if you want at the same time, but I still love you. And I'm like, I get it. No attachment, practice detachment. Right. I understand it. Like, you're not mine. I'm not yours. I get it.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. And also I was so fucked up from my divorce that I was like, I need
somebody to love me.
Somebody.
Yeah.
So then, but I did the retreat at Naga, which was the yoga place run by Rafa, the shaman, or his name's Raphael Shaman, but it's CH. Okay, so.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
But he's incredible. He's the best, honestly, the best yoga teacher that I could have ever asked for. And every morning when I do yoga, because I do it every single morning, even when I'm sick or whatever.
Yeah.
I can hear him and I can feel him and I can like teleport back to the shala in the mangroves and just like be there. He's incredible.
Yeah.
Also not.
Where do you get your like immense discipline or the militant part of you that just.
It's so interesting because I would say it's my dad, but yeah, kind of.
Is your brother like that?
Uh-uh.
No.
I mean, we were all athletes.
Okay.
And so we were also like My dad used to flood the side lawn, and we would go out and do drills at like 5 a.m.
That's where you got it. Okay, got it. That makes sense.
But at the same time, my family's not, like, they don't understand me.
Right.
They don't understand why I have to get up at 4 or 5 a.m. every single morning, even on vacation, no matter what, and go through a series of rituals.
Right.
Where I'm like popping into different dimensions.
Right.
And I have to be completely, like, my phone doesn't turn on until 4 hours after I'm up.
Right.
Like, I'm so... And
regimented, though, that's exactly what I want. I want to be that.
The morning routine, I think it truly stems from, I mean, there's a reason I was on Ritalin, because I was like severe ADHD.
Right.
Like off the wall.
Yeah.
Never slept.
Because you're a
as
big
a child.
spirit, just visiting Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was kind of all over the place. And I feel like, I always say this, but I know that my journey, I had to go through all of that. But if I were to have a child, which I'm not, but if I were and they had those similar things, I would try to give them a routine first and give them certain things like that, because yoga was better than Ritalin could ever be for me. Because when I do yoga, I can be in the worst mood. I can be all over the place. I can be shaky, frenetic, all the fucked up energies. Once I do yoga, I'm like,
centered.
Oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, my daughter's very, I was not this way. I was very like chill kid, like laid back.
Oh,
you could just pick me up and put me anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird. But my daughter has this manic energy. And the first time that we heard like a potential, she's not being diagnosed with ADHD, but there's potential for it. And I was like, well, I'm not that, some people have to be on medication. I'm not slighting anybody in any way, but for us, I was like, well, let's just see how we do with routine.
Yes.
And so like giving her something, also me putting my hand on her shoulder and just being like, take a breath. Or sometimes it has to be a hug and we're going to breathe together. And now we're doing meditating. That. But like for her, she really just has to like take 3 deep breaths and she's so much better.
Oh my God. That's,
so much better.
Yeah. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
I mean,
but now it's like, she's 5. So you have to like, you're teaching her to teach herself.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I had to completely relearn how to take care of myself, especially like during
because you were
time.
Just medicated.
Yeah.
It's an external source. Yeah.
Yeah. And I already am like the most anxious person on the planet, like my nerves and everything. So everyone always asks me like, what's your process as an actor? I'm like, lines, whatever. Like, I just need to know them. If I'm not calm by the time I get to set, forget it. If I'm not calm by the time or if I haven't done the things that I need to do to feel like I've had my time
to prepare,
and I feel like centered and
you have some early calls. So you have to get up like so early.
Oh yeah. No, I do get up. If I have a call at 5 a.m., I'm up at 1 a.m.
Holy shit, Eliza.
I've gotten up at 12 before midnight because I had a 4 a.m. call. And it's insane, but luckily...
But it prepares you.
It does. But luckily I can, like, in my trailer with the tracks, the audio journeys that Bekah makes, Bekah Vandenberg, I can put those in and you go into this state of theta that you're more rested than if you took a nap.
Now, when you were... Speaking of Bekah Vandenberg, if you guys follow her, she's on entranced_awakening on IG. You guys have to watch her. She is apparently Australian.
She's Australian.
She has like her voice, you could just listen to it for hours.
And I do every day. And I mean, she and I met because a makeup artist through Future Man, who doesn't talk to me anymore because I slept with a special effects makeup artist in her department. Fine, whatever. I was rebounding. That was before celibacy. He was hot. And you're that close to my face putting a scar on me, like fucking my hand goes somewhere. Like I'm like, hey. She hated me for it. I don't know why that warranted for her to hate me, this makeup artist, but she did. No. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I support it.
Before that, she knew I was going through just the fucking worst time ever with the divorce. So she connected me with Bekah.
Okay.
And I went for the first time and like fucking just strung out Adderall, just like, and I'm like, hey, and she's like, just lay back and close your eyes. I'm like, okay, but I need to tell you my whole life story first, don't I? Like, don't you need to know everything?
This is when I went to Tammy Cook, the somatic.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think I found her through you.
Yes.
And I went to her and I was like, so I just want to tell you this. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just lay down. Go ahead.
I know.
Go ahead.
But that was just like, I was like, no, I'm like, you don't understand. So when I was 5,
like, I have poison and I need to get it out of my mouth right now. And they're like, just lay down, Jesus.
And so we did this soul fragment work. Mm-hmm. And
what is that? Yeah.
So she takes you into trance, which is basically, it's not hypnosis, but it kind of is. It's a different state. So there's different levels.
Right. Is it like transcendental meditation?
No, kind of like you're literally in just a blissed out state. Like
Great.
You're just like.
Love that.
And she zooms you back. You have to zoom yourself. Well, she's like, okay, now zoom yourself back to the first time you felt anger.
Okay.
Right. And she's like, doesn't have to be this lifetime. Go, all the way back, go to 0. You're 0 years old. Is it back there? Is it before? Is this another life? Yeah. Or is this in this one?
Okay.
Usually it's another time and place, different dimension, different timeline.
Right.
You find it, and then you keep finding it as it comes up into where it is in this lifetime.
Wow.
And so we found it. And it took, that first year that I started working with her, I was going like 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Because after the first time I was like, I don't even know what I feel right now. Like what just happened?
Right.
I've gone to every fucking therapist on the East Coast. I've been in 12-step programs. I was in like one of the things that my ex-husband, he like always was sending me off to some guru to be fixed and healed.
Right.
I've been to all of them, mm-hmm. like the best ones in the world.
Yeah.
I worked with her and I was like,
this feels
oh my God, this is so different.
Yeah.
Because once you find that piece of your soul that broke off during that traumatic moment or that really difficult time, you find it and it can be like embedded in the carpet. It can be in the walls. It can be wherever it is.
Yeah.
And you find it and you bring it out and you ask it like, why did you break off? Right. What were you doing to protect me? Right. So it's to protect me.
Right.
And then it's like, what does she have to offer me? And what do I have to offer her now? And then you take the two, like you take yourself now.
Right.
And you take the soul fragment and you bring them together.
Oh,
and you put them back in.
Oh, I love
and you
that.
just put yourself back together.
I love that.
I don't even know how I was walking around before because we were just going all over the world finding these soul fragments of mine. Because the thing is that traumatic moment, like I had a very specific one as a child. When you find that, then you start to see where anything that feels like that moment, mm-hmm. your soul might break off. Yeah. Soulmate, because it's like, whoa, that feels too close to this thing. So you're just in pieces.
Right.
Right. So anytime that I would have a moment or I notice it now, like whenever I trace back, like, why do I get so irritated if somebody opens a door when I'm in the room or something, mm-hmm. or I have to have doors closed? It's because it feels like someone knocks on my trailer door. It's because they're taking something from me. They're taking my time.
Right.
What is that? Why? And I go back to like when I was a kid and it's like, somebody took something from me and I had no control over it. So now anytime someone interrupts me or does something or I feel like they're invading my space, it's because of that feeling. So you trace it back to that. Damn. It's
wild.
It's so intense. And like the amount of work that I did on myself was just like fucking nuts. I mean, we would just constantly, and then she and I became the bestest of friends. And when her husband died 2 years ago, she came and lived with us. Oh. And now, like, we're going to go stay with her. Like, there's a weird overlap. We have to move into our new house in Joshua Tree, but it's, like, not till the 6th.
Right.
But we have to be out of our other house on the 30th.
Right.
So we're going to stay at her house in Joshua Tree. And, big reason why I'm moving to Joshua Tree is because she's out there. She's... Right.
She's not a human.
No.
She doesn't... If you guys, like, watch her, she's not...
No. She's
not...
She's
ethereal, yeah.
And she changed me so much. And she's also my greatest mirror, too. We're so similar in our journey and the things that we've done. And we have the same, well, she's given me the point of view that I have on certain things because I've been so militant and like, well, this is right and this is wrong. This is how this has to be. And like when I was healthy, I wasn't just healthy. I was like, I wouldn't even drink that water. I wouldn't even like sit on a thing without, I was like, everything had to be so freaking healthy and perfect.
Right.
And through her and and then also meeting my now husband, who's the complete opposite. And
amazing.
He's like, drinks a 6-pack of beer in like 5 minutes. But I have learned that the balance is, the only way the balance works for me is the intention in which I'm doing something.
Right.
Because
I feel that.
I always have to just go, that's why I love my morning rituals, because I can go back to, okay, the yoga, the qigong, the energy, all the things, the meditation. If I'm having a moment where I get totally away from myself, I can just be like, find that moment here. You were there this morning.
Right.
That was only a few hours ago.
Right.
You're still that.
You can touch it again.
You're all right.
Can you go over Qigong real quick?
Qigong? I mean, it's funny. I don't even know the technical stuff about Qigong. I just know that with the dictator yogi, he did Qigong, and fuck, it's like you're basically just playing with energy through your body and moving it. And it's like, I did a lot of Tai Chi, actually, weirdly, in college. And I got kicked out of Tai Chi.
How do you get kicked out of Tai Chi?
Because I hated the whole, like, the school I went to, they hated me, and I almost got kicked out. Okay. And so I just wanted to disrupt everything. Right. This is way before any healing. Anything. Yeah. I went off of Adderall. Oh, yeah. I was like, fuck this. I'm like, fuck it all.
We don't even have our full frontal lobe.
I was not a developed human being. I mean, I think there was one night where I did every drug on the planet, and I'm not a drug person. Like, I don't do drugs, but I was like, this is my one time. Let's do them all. Yeah. And that was a crazy night. I ended up backstage with the Far Side, the band.
Holy shit.
Smoking opium. What? I don't know. With the Far Side. I don't do drugs. I've only smoked pot like 3 times in my life.
Oh my God.
I don't do drugs. Drugs are not my thing. But that was the one night that I did them. That was the one night I did every drug.
Tell me about mezcal.
Okay. So I didn't drink for 18 years because of the food program I was in. And then also I was just like, I don't need it. I'm good.
Right.
So all through Happy Endings, all through everything, all the shows that I've been on, no alcohol, no anything. I mean, shit tons of amphetamines, but yeah. So then my friend, my nutritionist, Nell Stevenson, her husband is like one of the owners of Madre Mezcal.
Yeah.
So when I was working with her, I still didn't drink. Then when I met my husband, Billy, the day we met, because we met on Instagram, and then the day we met, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a drink. It's been 18 years.
Right.
And the thing with mezcal, the only reason
why... And you'd already been working with Bekah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I met Billy 4 years ago. So... Wait, backing up though. So mezcal, because I'd spent so much time in Mexico. I mean, I was there through the whole pandemic. Right. I was like, I'm not going to be in America. I'm going to go down to Mexico and
good for you.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So I learned about mezcal and the sacred energy of like the mother of agave, all the things. And it's made in Oaxaca, and just the ceremony that they have to make it and the intention of it. I mean, mezcal used to be something that shaman would give people to open them, much like an ayahuasca, much like a plant medicine. And it also is really good for digestion and to calm you.
Oh yeah, it's like a prebiotic. Yeah. Like tequila, I think it has to be from like blue agave.
Yeah.
Where this can be from an abundance of like different types of plants.
Yeah. And so I had it and I was like, oh my God. And it's so funny. I think I'm the only person on the planet who's like, you know what? My life got better when I started drinking. Because what it did for me, and also I'm very sacred with it. Like my husband always laughs at me because
you're not chugging a bottle.
No. Yeah. And I mix it with kombucha, so I make my little drink.
A little probiotic.
And it's like my stomach is super pumped about it. Yeah. But every time I have it, like even before I take a sip, I bless it and I say, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for this. And like my husband's always looking at me, he's like, Jesus Christ. I'm like,
we're at a bar, lady. What is happening?
Oh, and I do it in bars too. I will.
I know you do.
And so I do it with my food, everything. And it literally has changed my life, not in the sense of, because I drink now. And I know that people have a whole bunch of opinions about that. And for people that do have a problem, I am not saying, go do this. This is not your thing. This is my experience.
Right.
And I think because I didn't drink for 18 years, it's not my go-to.
Right.
It's not my thing of like, I'm having a terrible day, I need a drink. Or, I'm so happy, I need a drink. It's just, for me, I never stop going. I'm just constant. It's the only thing that makes me go, okay, I'm okay. I mean, some people like microdose fucking mushrooms or they're microdosing this. I'm like, I basically microdose mezcal.
Right.
You know? Yeah. It just helps me.
Yeah. And it's also good for like, I looked it up, like circulation and blood pressure and all that stuff. Question about ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
How do you recommend doing it? How many times have you done it?
I've done it twice.
Okay.
My experience is very funny though, because and it all comes back. I mean, I did it once, but it was basically, that was a hilarious story for another time, like with Bekah.
Oh my God.
And with my dear friend Cindy. We did a lot of different plant medicines. It was all done with a facilitator. My dear friend, actually from high school, from childhood, she became a plant medicine facilitator. Oh my
gosh, I love that.
So she came out to Topanga, and the fucking raccoon was there, and it was this whole fucking experience. We ended up seeing all these past lives, Cindy and Bekah and me, and we were in the bathroom just laughing because we were on this is not how you want to do plant medicine.
Right.
Doing a bunch of different plant medicines in one night. You do not want to do it that way.
Right.
I didn't know. It was my first time ever doing it.
Right.
And it was still a really beautiful container we had created in this space. But Cindy and Bekah and I ended up in the bathroom, and I was like, you guys, this is the brothel that we were in, like as whores. Sweet. I was like, we were sucking cock for cash together in the fucking like Deadwood days. And they were just both like, oh my God. And then Bekah started purging for me because when you do ayahuasca or you do any plant medicine, you have to purge.
Yeah.
And if you can't purge, that's what energy is. Somebody will do it for you.
Yeah.
So she was purging for me because I was like, I'm not purging. And so she did it for me. And I'm like holding her hair back. I'm like, this is like when I would hold your hair back in the saloon. We were on a whole thing. So then the second time I did it with the Yawanawa tribe from Brazil.
Girl.
Yeah. But this was in Ojai, in a barn.
Oh my God.
And it was fucking incredible, except because I'm me, Mama Ayahuasca will always give you the medicine you need.
Right. That's what I've heard.
So I took 4 cups of ayahuasca and felt fucking nothing. And I'm sitting there while people are like, dancing, doing things like throwing up, all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, motherfuckers, I have to sit here for 9 hours, 8 hours, however long this is going to be. And I'm stone sober, not feeling anything, really wanted to go through this experience because my purpose of doing ayahuasca was to heal the trauma from my childhood.
Right.
That was the only purpose.
Right.
I'm not a drug person. I never wanted to do it. It never called to me until it did.
Right.
So I really wanted to have like a true experience with the Yawanawa tribe. I was like, this is amazing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck everybody. And I was so angry. And I go up to you have to go up to like the shaman and you get your thing. And they're like, do you want to do rape? And I'm like, that's spelled rape. I don't know what that means. Like, I'm cool. And then they were like, so you do it. And I took 4 cups. And I finally walked outside to the fire. And I was just staring up at the sky. And I hear this voice behind me. And she says, and she puts her hand on me. And she says, my dear, you're strangling the medicine.
Oof, girl.
And I was like, all of a sudden, once she said that, I was like, oh my God, how many times have I strangled the medicine in my life? How many times have I just been so fucking controlling and this and tight and all these things? And I was like,
and I needed to do this and I needed to perform this way.
Yeah. And I was so controlling, I wouldn't let the medicine work on me.
Yeah.
Because I was going to be in control.
Yeah.
And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh my God. And then I was just sobbing and I was a mess. And I was just on the ground and I was just like, it was nuts. And then I started seeing the whole interface of the world was taken off. And I got to see all the inner workings of myself and how things are and the soul contracts I have with people.
I love this trip. Well, now I know who to reach out to.
Yeah.
Because me and Matt, my husband, we really want to do it. And we've had a few people on that have done ayahuasca. And there's even a guy who's like, even if you have a bad trip, Mother Ayahuasca wants you to have that bad trip.
It's true. And that's exactly it. And I mean, the most important thing that I feel, because I never wanted to do ayahuasca because I feel like ayahuasca was not something that people actually did. The shaman would drink the ayahuasca and it would work through them.
Yeah.
What it's turned into now is like a fucking party drug. And it pisses me off because that is sacred plant medicine.
Yeah.
Just like I feel mezcal is sacred medicine.
Yeah.
It's like when things are done just willy-nilly, this is just I'm going to go do mushrooms and then go to a party. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge thing that's going to open you up.
That's why every time we go to sign up for it, again, there was one that had a menu and it did say, I was like, what's rape? And he was like, that's rape. Yeah. And I was like, well, if that's part of it, I guess that's what we do now. But our time has not come yet.
Yeah. And you'll know. You'll know when it's time and it'll start working on you 10 days or 20, not 20, 2 weeks before the mother starts working on you. But I suggest... Truly, and I mean this because Bekah is, if you want to do ayahuasca, you have to work with Bekah first.
Yeah.
And I feel that.
Done.
I feel like everyone in the world should work with her.
Oh, no, I have to go to Joshua Tree to hang out with
Oh, yeah. No, you got to come
a
out.
conduit. Yeah. Would love to.
If you work with her before, then you'll have you'll have more discernment and clarity as to why you're even doing it.
Right.
Because you're going to get beneath so many things. I mean, working with Bekah is like doing ayahuasca without taking the medicine.
Yeah.
And so that's important. The integration of what you learned and the messages from ayahuasca afterwards is even more important.
Yeah.
First time I did it, went straight into shooting pivoting with Liz. A week later.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, that was actually after the Ojai one.
Yeah.
So I went to work after. And that was the dumbest thing I could have done. But obviously everything is perfect. That's what I was supposed to do.
Right.
No, you have to work with Bekah after to integrate what you just learned.
Yeah.
And you have to sit with yourself and you have to not have some big, huge thing you're about to go do.
Right.
Like it's necessary. Like it's really necessary.
Yeah, that was what we kept coming across. We were either coming off of something really big or about to go into something really big. And I was like, I don't want to, because I don't know what it's going to be like.
No, and I don't even think it's necessary. Like I look back on it now and I'm like, I'm so grateful I did it. And also it doesn't call to me to do it again.
I mean, I know a guy who does it like 8 times a year.
Yeah, no.
And he's not, it's messed with his brain completely. Yeah. He can't carry on a conversation.
I mean, I feel like I'll probably do another plant medicine thing. It might just even be mushrooms. It might be something, but I don't know when that will be. I just can feel that I'll probably do it again at some point.
Yeah.
But also like, you get the messages, like, and you don't even need to do it. Like,
right.
I really feel like a lot of, like, you work with Bekah. You listen to her audio journees. Holy shit.
No, I'm going to deep dive into that tonight. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I can connect you too.
Please. I would love it.
She's
also going to be your neighbor.
I know.
Which is awesome.
I know.
And you have 5 German Shepherds now.
Yeah.
Give me their names. Because I think who did I know? Lex or Jedi?
Rex and Jedi.
Rex.
So Jedi's the half wolf.
Yes. Which is insane.
And Rex is from Germany and she's basically she was a real jack of all trades over there.
Right.
She was like a failed bomb dog. Like all these, she was like
I love it.
Dog.
She had a whole life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Zelda, who's half coyote. And then Zelda was teen pregnancy. She was just had her first heat and Jedi just got in there.
Oh no.
So they had eight puppies.
That's what I saw. Yeah,
we whelped a litter.
You did?
Yeah. It was shit everywhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then Zelda's one of her boobs burst. So she couldn't breastfeed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we had to feed 8 puppies every 3 hours.
For like Eliza.
Yeah.
For like 8 weeks or like however long. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. And then we kept
2.
2. Yeah.
We kept the biggest one and the runt.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy to keep a puppy when they're this. You're like, oh my God, I'll keep 5 of them. And then they get huge because they're part wolf.
Yeah.
These things are enormous. But they're my children.
That's awesome. And they'll get to move to Joshua Tree.
They all get to go to Joshua Tree. Yeah.
That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be incredible. I mean, like I have wanted to move for a long time to the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Like I know I've always been. That's
well, even your place in Topanga felt, I mean, it was so like.
That was pretty great too. That place was I just don't want to be near LA at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that.
I mean, it's just not my thing.
No, I think we're moving in the summer.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just skipped to the end. What's the funniest lesson you learned through all this?
Well, I mean, I guess
funny can be interpreted ironic or
yeah.
whatever.
I mean, thing is that everything that I was seeking and trying to find was always like, it was like I kept looking for something. When it was really like, I could hear I always ignored the whispers of like, that's who you are. This is who you are.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing.
Right.
Remember who you are.
Yeah.
And I just was like, no, go away. I would like send it to voicemail. Like, we're good. We're good.
Right.
And I went searching and searching on this like beautiful, amazing odyssey.
Right.
To just get back to me.
Right.
And like meeting Billy was like, reminded me who the fuck I was.
Yeah.
Because he's just my perfect counterpart.
And you threw the best birthday party. That's when I went to your house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And you had wigs and mustaches, so we'd all look like Billy.
Yeah.
It was great. That was a blast, dude. That was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We'll have parties in Joshua Tree and nobody will show up, but it's fine.
I would.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I would.
Becca's got a guest house. She's 6 minutes away.
Done.
I would always invite people to stay at my house, but when I say we have 5 wild animals, most people are deterred from that offer.
That's like where it's like, oh, wait a minute.
They're like, you know what? We're going to get an Airbnb.
We're going to near you. That's fine. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I remember going through, different stages in my life where like a lot of bad things were happening all at once. And I was like, and somebody would be like, you need to talk to somebody. And twice in my life, one wasn't actually a priest because I was raised Catholic. Wow. So the fact that it was a priest one time was really funny. Mm-hmm. And she goes, you need to go, my stepmom was like, you need to go talk to Father Wisner. And so I went to him and I was like, well, all this, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, okay. He goes, what if I told you that you were okay?
Ooh, yeah.
And I was like, what? And he goes, this is normal. You're a teenager. Yeah. Everything you're going through, I know it feels like a lot. But what if I told you you're exactly where you need to be and you're okay? And I was like, damn. And then that happened another time. And so like amazing. When you said like, even the person putting their hand on your shoulder saying you're strangling the medicine. Yeah. In like such a calming way. And it's just like, that's okay. And the other person saying, you're okay.
You're okay. Like that's the thing is, it's like we almost are looking for, you're pretty fucked up.
Right?
Cool. Yeah, you can go find anything to support your story.
Exactly.
It's the same as Googling things.
Right.
You want to Google this opinion about something, you want to Google that, you're going to find a ton of shit to support it. On both
sides, yeah.
And that's like the biggest thing ever is like, are you supporting a story that you don't want to be in?
Right.
Or are you supporting the story of your life that is like your highest, greatest choice?
Right.
The highest version of yourself.
Right.
And it's like, that's who talks to me all the time. I mean, I talk to a lot of different things and it's like, it's just my higher self guiding me.
Exactly.
And when we find things in like frequency finds frequency. So you're going to find things that are of that frequency. Mm-hmm. Or if you're in a shit mood, you're going to find things that are of that frequency.
Exactly.
It's all energy.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so excited. You like opened me up to like so much new stuff. Infrared saunas, love them.
Yeah.
What is the name of your book that you're writing?
Coyote Woman.
When will it be out?
Well, it was supposed to be out sooner, but then I was like realizing that a lot of the stuff in there I was still processing.
Right.
And I was like, I don't want to share my process. I want to, yeah. So I was like, So I went back in and also it was 190,000 words. My book.
Damn. Okay.
And my book doula, who's incredible. If anybody wants to write a book and needs a doula, Emily Bowman is
I love
amazing.
That there's something called a book doula.
Emily Bowman is the best thing that ever happened to me. I actually met her in Tulum.
Okay.
And I wasn't even going to write a book. And she doesn't, you write everything. Right. I wrote every word of this. Right. But you meet with her every week and you do like a meditation to start, and then you go in and she helps you organize it, and she like you read it and share it with her, and then you edit together and you do a bunch of stuff.
Right.
But I was going to anyway, so it was, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it was 190,000 words, and she was like, no, this is a memoir. Yeah. Let's just knock it down. We got to take about 50,000 words out, if not 60.
Yeah.
So I have 2 books basically.
Got it.
But a lot of it was like, I don't need all this, you know.
To get the point. Yeah. I'm the same way. I always overwrite. Every feature film is 150 pages.
Oh, yeah.
The first draft. And I'm like, let's take it down a bit. Nobody wants that.
Exactly.
It's not a, Lord of the Rings.
Right. So it'll come out soon is the point.
Okay, great. And it's called Coyote Woman.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Is there anything else you want to promote? Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on The Residence, which is a new Netflix show.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Awesome.
And that is going to be March 20th, I think.
Okay.
I play a Republican senator.
Yeah, you do. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Marjorie Bay Bix is my character's name.
Oh, Marjorie. Your name's Marjorie. I love it. I love it so much.
She was super fun.
Oh, I bet.
It was so fun.
I bet.
Actually. No, I guess that's it. Got that one. My husband and I are going to start our own podcast.
You absolutely need to.
Called The Actor and the Skater.
I love it.
And every actor has to learn a skate trick from Billy, and every skater has to read a scene with me.
Shut up. That's amazing.
But Billy's like, I'm not, that's a liability if they try to learn a fucking skate trick. I was going to say, that terrifies me. He's like, no, they're, but have you ever heard skate trick names? It's like a fucking another language.
Yeah. My friend, well, I told one of my good friends is a huge fan.
It's like, Billy's like, oh, that's a da 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 da. And I'm like, you're not saying real words.
That's not, you just made that
So
up.
I think that if like Billy did a trick and then so like the actor had to say what the name of the trick was, would be funny.
That's fun.
But skaters reading scenes with me, I think will be great.
Oh my God.
We'll be doing like Mad Men.
Dude, please. And they have to give it their best.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
No, they have to.
They can't like just
I'm going to like do everything film noir too. I'm just going to change. I'm going to like we'll film it just totally like
smoky.
Yeah.
Keep a smoky environment.
Like Raymond Chandler came in and was just like, that's how we're doing
Sipping
it.
on mezcal
Yeah,
for your
exactly.
scenes. I love it. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like I talked a lot.
Dude, that's what I wanted you to do. That's what I wanted you to do. And we'll probably have you back on when the book comes out.
Oh my God, I would love that. I've got to do the whole circuit.
Yeah,
of everything.
You do. Well, thank you so much for doing it.
Thank you. I want you to come hang out with me.
I would absolutely
feel like
love
we just
to. Do you know I've never been to Joshua Tree?
You know what's funny?
What?
I've been once when I went to look at this house.
Oh, you're called. Yeah, you're called to be there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
But I really would love for us to hang out.
Yeah.
Like truly. Like
I know.
feel like
we say it, but no, we say it. But thank you guys for watching the Funny Thing Is podcast. You can follow me at Nicole Birch Comedy on any of my platforms and get your podcast wherever you find it. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.